it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever.
I'm sick with the talk, passing your receiver.
All about running the spot.
And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather.
Cardio kingpin.
Subjugate the dub play.
And you know we can't wait to bring spins.
A-star quizzes, A+ the final.
Vocals we align, we'll move it all
simultaneously over joints we rock.
We earn
30 years so you can say we got.
Dream turn.
Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men.
We installed doubt in you and your yes men.
And if the game had veins, we'll insert
upheaval the crown.
Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. Relieving the kings of all crowns. So are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go.
Keep it steady, to the letter, right?
EA Sports coverage of the NFL is in Houston, in the Space City at NRG Stadium. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Set,
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Miller. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 62 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And with the play clock getting closer to 0, John Harbaugh is going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. This pass into the arms of Snead. That catch good for 5. It's third down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bradley Roby, the ex-Buckeye, with a corner blitz and the sack. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. Snead's got it. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And that will force a turnover on downs. On first down, it's Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Looking to throw again on second down. Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins there to make the grab. And the Texans push further out in front. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already. And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark. Before he could even get started. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Set, ready, go to bench. Hey, let's go. There you go. 41 Mike, 41 Mike. Go, go, go.
Now it's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. But now it'll be third down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now it's Jackson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now, you have to do it within your personality. They can't perceive it as fake. But I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat, uninspired. It's time to get moving.
A first down carry now for Miller. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. 2 first-quarter touchdown passes now for Deshaun Watson. And the Texans push further out in front. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The lightning rod, J.J. Watt with a sack. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. He's going deep for Brown. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll be limited to a short game. Up to about the 34-yard line. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football as they've got it 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 34-yard line.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. Past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Texans push further out in front. I know this defense knew it coming into the game, Charles, and they know it even more now. DeAndre Hopkins is a tough cover.
And anytime you see him out there and there's less than double or triple teaming him, take a shot with it. Just what you're talking about. If he's such a tough cover, one guy's not going to get it done. Throw the ball out there. Let him go get it.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm...
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 78 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 28-7 ball game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Let's go. First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
Now, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? But everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They're going for it. It's Watson sliding out of the pocket. He may try and run for this. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now it's Miller. And some room to maneuver. Lamar Miller, the 20. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. A huge play there for Houston. 58 yards. They'll try and run for it with Miller. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Texans push further out in front.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
After the interception, here's Watson. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work.
And it'll be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. To throw is Jackson. Open man is the tight end, Nick Boyle. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing is Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Jackson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. He's going deep for Brown. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Gary and Conley. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation. Or
go 4 verticals, because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
A final shot before the break. Watson, he's going to sling this deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On 3rd down, it's Hill. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. Well, as an offense, you know, some drives you have it, some drives you don't. And this one looks like a you don't.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it was 3rd and long. It was screaming for a pass. I think they tried to outguess him there with the running play. They didn't fool him at all.
Went in the wrong direction. Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's Watson. He'll buy some time right. He's going to take off with it. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. From the 50, it's Watson going deep for Hopkins. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. 10th carry now for Lamar Miller. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Watson going to stay out there as they'll go for it on 4th.
Tight right. 3 down. Hey,
Here we go on 4th. Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. CD, with that incompletion, let's talk AFC playoff picture. I think you and I agree that if you put together any sort of power rankings, we'd put Baltimore #1, certainly in the AFC. But you look ahead to the playoffs getting started on January 4th. Who do you see as their main competitor for that Lamar Hunt trophy?
Well, tradition and us not wanting to be wrong dictates that we say New England next, and rightly so because of the number of Lombardi trophies they've won, how they've always played at this time of year. But the bottom line to me is the prime contenders right now for Baltimore, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has got it together. The defense is playing better. And Buffalo really showed me something when they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh on a Sunday night in Week 15.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. He uncorks it for Snead. And now here is another interception. Picked off here the 32. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Defensively, that's Earl Thomas, the all-pro safety, knocking it free. An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches.
Heavy
Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to go for it all. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. That's to his running back, complete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Well, that's one of those in-between spots where you like to rely on analytics. Did you like the decision to go for it?
Frankly, I did because, I'm an aggressive guy. But that the analytics and the old school go by your feel, that's got to marry up a little bit better because that one felt like an analytics call that someone didn't have confidence in. Normally this coach, I think he would have punted the ball.
Yeah, calculated risk. It didn't work out. Now on 2nd and 13, Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles?
That's right. It's then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They begin with a run by Miller. And bulldozing his way through. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run with Miller. And he's taken down inside the 30. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be a 2nd and long.
2nd and 16. At the 36-yard line.
Back to throw, Watson. Flush to his right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. He's going deep for Brown. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Say. Under 10. 10. You go tight. You got tight. Over. Tight right there. Ready. 41 Mike. Right here. 41 Mike. Watch the run. Mike 41, Mike 41. Watch the curve, watch the curve.
To throw again, Jackson. He uncorks it for Snead. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 38. And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off around the 37. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys...
That's caught at the 25. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big-time play there for the Texans. 42 yards. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. It's complete to Fuller. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
To throw is Watson. But his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
After the interception, here's Jackson. He's got it to Ingram, complete. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves. but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 33. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game.
And now here is another interception. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And we now have a new single-game interception king, a record-breaking 5th pick there.
If that's not the true definition of a ball hawk, I don't know what is. That is absolutely phenomenal. What comes to mind quickly, partner, is one of the more recent ones to get to 4. D'Angelo Hall, a terrific player in his own right, but in this case, 5. That sets a brand-new NFL record.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. On third down, it's Miller. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided.
First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
48,
Throwing now, Watson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL.